The British public has finally been relieved to see Queen Elizabeth II make an impressive recovery and enjoy a face-to-face meeting at Windsor Castle for the first time since she contracted COVID-19. On Monday, the Queen was seen carrying out her official duties in person as she was pictured meeting with Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. She returned to official duties just days after it was thought she would continue to host video meetings, like she did earlier this month during a virtual audience to receive the High Commissioner of Malawi, Dr. Thomas Biseka. Mr. Trudeau is in the UK for talks with Boris Johnson and Dutch counterpart Mark Rutte on the Ukraine conflict. The Queen looked delighted to be back to work as she made Justin Trudeau giggle during their meeting. She was not pictured with the walking stick, which she has been using of late. After shaking hands with the politician, the royal even managed to send him into a fit of giggles. Doubling over with laughter, Trudeau couldn't stop chuckling at the Queen's dry sense of humour. Continuing to be in good spirits, the Queen donned a patterned blue and white dress for the occasion, also showing off a stunning arrangement of spring flowers on her writing desk. Next to the vase, there appeared to be a fancy box of chocolates too. After the audience, Trudeau said the Queen was as insightful as ever, adding that she was very interested in what was going on with Russia. He said, "I can tell you in my conversation with her this morning, she was very insightful and perspicacious as ever, very interested in what's going on." The Queen's appearance at the audience also stunned the public with her looks, but many were delighted to see her going up and back again. One fan wrote, "Happy seeing Queenie up and about." Another fan put, "The Queen looks well, glad she recovered." And a third added, "Good to see her back at it. She looks wonderful. So glad to see her." Heart emoji. But the Queen, seen in person for the first time, was accompanied with what appears to be a sweet nod to Ukraine, as her huge bouquet of flowers on the side table in the background were blue and yellow, the colours of the Ukrainian flag. It's not the first time that the monarch, who is also Queen of Canada, has met Trudeau, and in fact their acquaintance dates back many decades. The Canadian leader's father, Pierre Trudeau, was once the country's Prime Minister himself, and the Queen was introduced to his young son, then just a child, on her visits to Canada in the 1970s. Her Majesty last met the Prime Minister in June 2021 at a reception to launch the G7 summit at the Eden Project in Cornwall. They were joined by the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge, Prince Charles and the Duchess of Cornwall, as well as various other world leaders. Monday's meeting comes more than 2 weeks after Buckingham Palace confirmed the Queen had tested positive for the virus and was experiencing mild symptoms. At the time, the palace insisted Her Majesty, who is triple vaccinated, would be continuing light duties at her desk. Afterwards, she did cancel 2 virtual audiences she was due to hold due to her symptoms, although she was well enough to hold her weekly audience with the Prime Minister Boris Johnson over the phone. However, last week she felt well enough to carry out a series of virtual audiences from Windsor Castle with various ambassadors. Last Tuesday, Charles said his mother was a lot better now, and she was pictured holding her first virtual audiences since her diagnosis. Before today, the Queen last carried out an in-person engagement almost 3 weeks ago, meeting the incoming Defence Services Secretary, Major General Alden Miller, and his predecessor, Rear Admiral James McLeod. However, many royal watchers were concerned when she was overheard saying she couldn't move in footage from the engagement. The monarch could be heard remarking loudly, "Oh, I'm here. I thought you might have just stayed in there for ages. Good morning." Asked how she was, the smiling Queen, wearing a floral dress and holding a walking stick, pointed to her left leg or foot and responded, "Well, you can see I can't move." COVID is the latest in a number of health issues for the Queen, but she was said to be feeling much better after a tough few months at the end of last year.